Say what's good with it? It's D Sky Hardcore Casual MMA. We back at it with the fight dramatics. Let's go. Today we're gonna be breaking down UFC 320, a highly anticipated matchup between the brilliant striker Cory the Sandman Sandhagen versus Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. And the machine is not an understatement. He fits every bit of that moniker and goes and goes and goes. Does relentless pressure, relentless force. But this is a matchup that we're going to break down and get into. The question is, Cory Sandhagen, he's came in a bit highly confident in this matchup and confident in his skills. Can he beat the unstoppable force, Merab Dvalishvili, in this matchup? Let's break it down. Let's get into it. Let's go. For this co-main event coming up for UFC 320, we're going to get into Cory the Sandman Sandhagen, his background, and what's been going on with him. Check it. Cory Sandhagen has been a staple in the bantamweight division for quite some time. He at first was once mostly known for his striking, his great knockouts, his flying knees, his wheel kicks, and his flashy plethora of strikes that he throws in TKOs. And he started getting motion and blowing up. Beating Frankie Edgar, TKO and Frankie Edgar, and some other fighters in the UFC. But he ran into the ex-bantamweight champion and Merab Dvalishvili's best friend and training partner, Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain Sterling was able to take Cory Sandhagen's back and get the rear naked choke and finish him pretty quickly in that fight. And ever since then, Cory Sandhagen's mentality is and has been that he has to evolve his game. So since then, Cory Sandhagen started working on his wrestling, started becoming a better grappler. Not only, which most strikers will do, they'll just work mostly on takedown defense and, having a few different submissions, which every fighter in the UFC has a couple of submissions in their back pocket. They're not full-blown, a lot of fighters are not full-blown Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, although there are a lot, but all fighters are not. And some strikers just learn how to stay on their feet and avoid getting taken down and how to survive in positions. Cory Sandhagen turned that around, and Sandhagen, with his training, decided that he was going to learn to not only avoid takedowns but also become an offensive threat with his wrestling. And this is the type of mentality that it takes to be a champion, and that's a lot of fighters should use to evolve their games in the UFC. The worst thing I hate to see is a great fighter, especially a striker, a great fighter that doesn't round off their game to get to the top, or add things to their game, add to their striking, keep on evolving, add to their wrestling, become better wrestlers, and you had a perfect example with George St. Pierre. He was one of those fighters who carried this mentality. And, he went everywhere to train. He went to the best of the best in each skill in mixed martial arts. For instance, went to Frankie Roach, the great boxing coach, to get his hands right, So Cory Sandhagen took on that mentality. He started becoming a better wrestler and rounding off his game. And it kind of hurt his stock and his entertainment value because Cory Sandhagen started actually offensive wrestling more, which we could see in the fight against him and Rob Font, where he took Rob Font down over and over, controlled him on the ground, and even though he probably more than likely could have beat Rob Font on the feet and knows he has the skills, he wanted to get into an actual fight and get the reps in and get the practice in with these skills. So that's the championship mentality that Cory Sandhagen has, and he can stand with anyone on the feet in the bantamweight division. So this fight is going to be very interesting. Cory Sandhagen is super confident coming into this matchup. He's very confident, and he feels like he can't lose, and that he has the tools and techniques to beat Dvalishvili, which he does. But Merab Dvalishvili has this gas tank and this pressure and this forward motion that's just unrelenting, and he breaks down fighters. And the interesting thing to see in this matchup is how is Cory Sandhagen gonna stop this fight from being a constant grappling battle of him constantly trying to avoid a takedown and constantly trying to get up from a takedown, where he's doesn't become stagnant and is able to put out some offense, because essentially this is what Merab has done to a lot of his opponents. He has put that pressure on, and it's just made other fighters wilt, and they can't get any offense going. They can't get any good shots. They try to wrestle with him, but he's about a step ahead everywhere. And the closest fighter that came to, giving Merab some issues was Umar Nurmagomedov. But even Umar, who trains with his cousin Khabib, was not able to have the cardio and the resilience to last through Merab's pressure. But Cory Sandhagen feels like he has a game plan for this, and that he's going to beat Merab. So we'll see. On the other hand, Merab, who's been on a hell of a win streak, beating former champs, current champs, taking out O'Malley twice in a row, Henry Cejudo, Piotr Yan. I could go on, but Merab is on the verge of being labeled, and actually he is being labeled by some fans, journalists, fighters as the bantamweight GOAT right now. And they feel like with this win against Cory Sandhagen, it would definitely seal the deal on that. So we're gonna see. But Merab's style and his pressure, really his path to victory is to do what he always does, and to keep putting that pressure on, keep wrestling guys into submission and melting them. And he doesn't have a super flashy game. His game is not super technical, and it's not hard to understand. But guys just cannot keep Merab off of them. They can't keep him off of him. And Merab is super confident in his skills and abilities, just like Sandhagen, but Merab always carries that demeanor, and he's always confident. Merab probably could have been champion a lot sooner if he had agreed to fight his best friend, Aljamain Sterling. But being a true friend, Merab did not fall into that, and he just waited his chance patiently. And that's a sacrifice, because he could have missed his championship opportunity at getting a belt, by doing that. So that's a hell of a sacrifice, a true testament to a true friend, and shows real character. But Saturday, we're gonna get our answers. And in my opinion, even though the hot take is that Merab, that Cory can win, and Cory's been underestimated, I'm kind of back and forth with it. I'm back and forth in my head, because I do like Sandhagen. I like Merab a hell of a lot as well, but looking at them as fighters, it's hard to see Sandhagen just being able to keep Merab off of him, and it's going to be interesting to see. But if anybody is to do it, I would look at Sandhagen to be one of those guys, especially because Sandhagen is very smart. If you go on his YouTube channels and watch his breakdown, he breaks down everybody's techniques. He's a true student of the game. He can tell you the pros and cons of certain fighting styles, certain stands, what's good about it, what's bad about it. And he's very strategic and tactical like that. And if he feels like he's that confident and has a game plan to nullify that, I definitely want to believe him, and I'm definitely kind of starting to side with Sandhagen a little bit, even though it's a hot take right now. But a lot are saying that they just can't see anybody being able to stop the machine. What do you guys think? What do you think? So, in my opinion, in my estimation, this is a tough one. I think that I'm gonna go with Sandhagen. So yeah, I'm gonna take Sandhagen in this one. I got a thing where I love to root for the underdogs, and sometimes it bites me in the butt not putting any money on it. If I were to put money on it, it probably change my my pick. But I'm a roll with Sandhagen on this one. So guys, that's all for the breakdown. Don't miss the fight. Feel free to tune in for my other breakdowns of other fights on my channel. It's D Scott Hardcore Casual MMA. It's been good. I'll see you next time. Peace.